Good morning, everybody. Welcome into another episode of PM and the AM show. And for the past week, it's been hot. It's been hot outside. We've been going through here in Philadelphia. In case anyone from the outside is checking into the program, here in Philly, we've been going through a little bit of a heat wave, and it's going to pour into next week. So, listen, right out the gate, it's been really, really hot. I'm wearing no underwear. I know you guys.
Wow. Come on, bro. Not even a minute into the show. Pause.
We're blaming the heat for this, huh?
Yeah. it's like a pound of sweat, on my back door.
Oh my God.
But
I'm
anyway,
so sorry, everybody. I am so sorry.
But anyway, we
talcum powder's coming out hard today.
Oh yeah, the powder is out. So
you gotta be careful. You go too heavy, you make sourdough.
But anyway, first of all, Mike, happy birthday.
Shh, don't tell nobody that.
Oh.
Probably my wife though. I can know she probably already wrote it up there knowing her. See.
See?
What did she do something wrong? Once I say I'm lucky to have him in my life, I always assume the partner did something wrong in that case.
Oh, I did something wrong?
No. Like the person who's putting the post out.
Oh no.
How many times I see on social media when somebody goes, "I'm happy to have this person in my life," or "lucky to have this person in my life," I'm like, "Damn, they did something wrong." Maybe that's just me. Maybe it's just me.
Nah. She's on the free and clear list. She's good.
And
she's in the total fly zone. We're good to go.
We're good to go.
And of course, producing the program as always, my man Al Safir. What's up, Al?
What's up?
Let's go.
Well, you were waiting for more.
No. Oh,
what's up?
That's all you get.
Yeah, that's all you get. Well, listen, the Phillies last week, they looked like they went through a little bit of a rough patch. But however, listen, they've turned things around. They've been playing raw, hot baseball, a little bit home cooking back here, at Cincinnati Bank Park against those Padres, against the Diamondbacks. Yesterday, 12 runs from this Phillies team.
What up, Sal?
What's up, Sal? I mean,
happy birthday.
Oh, yeah, it is hot weather, Sal. Who is steaming? But yeah, again, hot weather. Again, Wheeler yesterday.
Who brought this guy?
Yeah.
What did you take this morning? I need a cup of it.
Yeah, yes.
Was he breaking into your diabetic fruit slices?
Probably, man.
No, I mean, listen, the Phillies looked really, really good yesterday. I mean, this kid, Tony Henry, yesterday, he looked nervous on the hill going against this Phillies lineup. And you just seen in his face. I mean, right from the start, Kyle Schwarber just getting on base. And then you saw Harper going deep. I mean, he tried everything, and he throws like an inside curveball, and Harper just rocks it.
You know what that reminded me of? Remember when he hit the walk-off against the
Cubbies?
Yeah.
That's what
it almost the same
it's almost
area.
the same exact pitch. That's what it looked like.
Honestly, I would love to see that overlaid.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and right from the start, I got to ask you, I mean, I know we've for a couple of years, we looked at these guys, hey, listen, it doesn't matter what part of the lineup that they're in, they should be able to hit. But apparently, whatever fits their comfort zone, stick to their comfort zone. Like, for instance, I don't think you could put Kyle Schwarber anywhere else besides that lead up. Like you saw last week where Topper put Nick Castellanos in that second hole. Didn't work out. Didn't pan out well. But as soon as Trey Turner got back, it seems like everything is just coming back into flow, getting back into rhythm. I mean,
Cassie starting to turn it around too.
He's coming up clutch.
Well, he is, but I mean, he's a streaky guy.
I literally tweeted this out. If Castellanos starts hitting with Schwarber and everybody else does what they do,
this team's going to be
MLB's on notice at this point. You know
listen,
what I mean?
They put up a thing yesterday. MLB put up a post of what two teams you think are going to make the World Series. Guess what? There was more Phillies versus whoever than there was anybody else.
Good morning, Al.
I mean, you had a couple. You had a few Dodger fans in there, but even a few. I read this one Dodger fan. He said, "Listen," he said, I would love to say my Dodgers." He said, "But until they prove it in the playoffs," he said, "Right now, to me," he said, "the most complete team in the National League," he said, "is the Phillies." Yeah, and a lot of people are picking Phillies Orioles.
You know what,
World
Mike?
Series.
And the Orioles pitching wise is really good, but not perfect.
Right. Well, here's the thing.
I mean, they made us look bad. I'll be honest with you. But, I mean, the Phillies were struggling at the time, so it is what it is. Sometimes just catch a team at the right time and makes a difference. But, I'm not – again, I like to pump my chest up. I did the post game yesterday, and I said it's okay to enjoy it, and stack your wins up and do whatever you can do and all that stuff. And the one thing I had to point out yesterday was there's no such thing as a revenge series.
Yeah, I was hearing that all week.
I
I was hearing that all day Friday, because Cole was retiring his number,
Mhm.
or he was retiring as a Philly, and to me, I thought it was just hogwash. Like, this is not revenge. Like, if you want revenge against them, then you got to knock them out of the playoffs if they get in.
No. If you want revenge, you need to go into the playoffs, even if they don't make the playoffs, and win it
and
all.
run it back.
Yeah,
Because think about it. This team, this happens to everybody. When you go and you make it deep into the playoffs, but you don't make it, like we 2022, that's why 2023's, drop off to the Diamondbacks burned even more, because we were just in the World Series last year. We were so close. We had a possibility of doing it again, and then we fell short, fell flat, whatever you want to call it. The only real revenge anywhere is winning it all.
Yeah, winning it all.
Sorry.
Well, no, and I don't think there was no revenge factor. I just think this, last week it kind of was like a wake up call to this team. You listen, with all the traveling from London to Boston to Baltimore, it kind of like, and then they took a couple L's. It kind of like, all right, guys, we're going to get back into gear as soon as we got back home. And that's what it was. And it's just been a beatdown ever since. It doesn't matter who comes through Simpson Bank Park. It's just a constant beatdown for the opposing team. And like I saw this kid, Tommy Henry, on the hill yesterday, and he looked nervous. Like, he looked scared. And then their bullpen didn't matter. Like you mentioned, that kid who subbed in for Tom Henry, Scott McGruff. He comes in. Nick Cassiani takes him deep to left. And then all of a sudden, they don't have an answer.
Yeah,
Like,
it just seemed like that game kind of got away from them. Like, the Phillies just steamrolled them. I mean, you figure you had Phillies get to 2 runs early on, and then you got Harper and Bohm go back to back. They go back to back home runs yesterday. So, I mean, for me, honestly, this is what this Phillies team is. It's hot. It's hitting weather. It's hitting season, as Charlie Manuel would say. And this offense now, man, is starting to get potent.
Well, and look at Schwarber yesterday, 3 for 3, and he has 2 walks yesterday. I mean, it was amazing.
Listen, the more impressive one for me was Harper. He was 4 for 5.
Yeah, he's been impressive all week.
Listen, right now he is the
He's
MVP.
on leash.
He's the MVP right now. I don't care what anybody says. He is the MVP right now.
Again, I said this. I said quietest MVP bid right now, and I think it's because this team's doing so well. It's why it sounds so quiet. I mean, he's had his moments, his streaks where he was cold, but he's like top 5 in all categories.
Yeah, and they were talking about that yesterday. They were saying like how his season has been really since the beginning of April. So he said, not feeling Lewis Robert. I'll hang up and listen. I'm not feeling him either. I don't want him here. They had an interesting name though. They had the kid from the pitcher. They had the pitcher from Anaheim. I'm trying to remember his name, linked to the Phillies for a possible. He's a left-hander.
Right now, I'm more on the Kyle Tucker train.
I would love that. I would love that.
Luis Robert. Here's Luis Robert. He has the ability, and it's really hard to judge a guy when you're on a really deflating team right now. Like he for those who don't know, he's on the White Sox. And they're not a good team. They're a real bad team.
Yeah.
Here he comes again, Marshawn, with my Tucker talk. But he's been there. He's been to the dance. He's won the dance. We all know it. We were there.
Had a great performance.
Performance in the dance. He plays a really good center field. If Bohm or anybody behind Harper gets cold, like we saw last year,
he's a guy that can help.
He's a guy you can slide up into that 5-hole, 4-hole. And really he can produce.
My thing is this, Al. Do you think that they're going to go and get themselves another catcher, or do you think they're just going to ride out with Stubbs and Marshawn going forward?
I don't see them getting another catcher. I don't understand.
I think they're okay with
the need
it.
for the catcher. Like,
right?
What? I mean, are you going to go get another starting catcher? Like, you're not. I mean, unless you're really afraid that JT's not going to be 100%, or he has a high rate of possibly re-injuring. But according to the I talked with an orthopedic surgeon the other day. They termed it a clean out, which they feel that's the best. He's like it's like in your knee, but you have a ingrown tear now. They cut it out, they clean up around the area, and the pain stopped right away. And he should be pretty strong. I mean, he's on that trajectory for 30 days, already running. They say you only had to use the I think it was 3 days tops. You had to use the crutches. That's it.
Yeah, but
so I mean,
Yeah, but to your point though about Marshawn, I mean, You saw it yesterday. He came off the bench and he answered the bell. I mean, this team knows how to come up big. And yesterday, we talked about the bottom part of the lineup looking really, really good. For the past few
Marshawn
weeks.
wasn't on the bench yesterday.
No, he came up. Remember, he came off and then he
yesterday he started yesterday.
Did he start? I thought he came in late.
No, he started yesterday. I did the post game. I'm pretty sure.
All right, well,
now you're making me second guess myself. I'll tell you right now.
But yesterday, look, he came up huge. Then, like I said, this to me, this team looks really. Oh, so he started. Yeah. So I mean, again, he 1 for 4. Oh, so but he's hitting the ball, hit it out of the park. He looks really, really good. The whole lineup, and like
defense,
I said,
I like Marshawn's defense.
Yeah, for the past few weeks, we've been preaching about the bottom part of the lineup.
I want to see him up there instead of Stubbs.
Yeah,
I'm just going to throw that out there.
You'd rather see him in there before Stubbs?
A little bit right now. Now it's hard to say because he has a very small sample size, but in the sample size, he's done really well. And I honestly think somebody on the post game show told me it was one of our usual guys was chiming in a lot during the show. What his name was, great guy, had a lot of good comments, but he said that Marshawn was our best defensive catcher, including JT Realmuto. And I was like, I'm going to pump the brakes on that one a little bit. He's very good, don't get me wrong, but injuries actually have set him back. Yeah. It's the back injuries that really have set him back. And with a catcher, that's no bueno at times. So,
yeah, I mean, but like I said, this Phillies offense has been clicking. Like we've just been talking about Harper. Harper to me has been unleashed, and right behind him, like you were talking about, in every category, has been Alec Bohm. Alec Bohm leads the lead with 26 doubles. He's been really, really fine. And like I said, that kid Tom Henry got shooken up. He tried this inside curveball with Harper. Harper rocks it to the left. He comes up. Alec Bohm comes up, hits a fastball deep to right. I mean, this Phillies lineup is really, really scary. And when I look at the NL entirely, and I might be jumping the gun here, but I don't fear nobody.
Well, you're the top team in baseball for pretty much this whole season. Who should you fear?
Right.
I mean, I know everybody had this clamoring of they haven't played anybody that good, or
so
all that stuff. But
the one team I would kind of look out for, and I'm saying this kind of half-heartedly, is the Dodgers. I mean, the Dodgers they're right there with the Phillies. They've been winning up there. And listen,
is Shohei Ohtani the guy who's going to get them over the hump in the playoffs?
I don't know about this. I don't know.
How many playoff games has Shohei Ohtani played?
None. I know it's a different beast. Trust me, he hasn't been here in October. Yeah. Like I said, there's a big difference of coming to Philadelphia in July than coming to Philly in October.
Yeah.
So for me, I still give the Dodgers that respect. I know that they come up small in the playoffs, them and the Braves. The Braves can't count out either. I think the Braves are just relegated to going, hey, we're down our two best players. Looks like we may have to go, morning dives.
Morning dives.
We may have to go the route the Phillies went the last couple of years.
Right.
And to be honest with you, too, I don't know why, but I got a sneaky feeling with the Cubbies, too. The Cubbies got a really good team.
Well, that's the one thing it's funny. I was sitting there yesterday, like I was watching the game and I'm doing my notes for the post game. And I was kind of looking at, because we talked a lot about the standings. And the reason I talked about the standings yesterday was more about the trade deadline, because I pointed out the fact that outside of at this point, the 3 wild card teams, all but 2 teams are within 2.5 games or less of a wild card spot in the NL. In the AL, there's a bigger discrepancy, a much bigger discrepancy.
I think there's only a couple good. There's like a handful of good teams.
I mean, the Orioles have a really, outside of a falling apart moment, they're like 8 games or something in the first place in the wild card spot, and then I think KC's in there, and I forget who the other team was.
It's Minnesota.
Baltimore,
Minnesota.
But after that, it drops off, and then there's a couple of other teams underneath that. But after that, it drops pretty drastically. And I said when it comes to the trade deadline, and again, that's why I think you should be looking at American League teams to trade with, because they're not going to want to trade with the Orioles. They're not going to want to trade with the Yankees, and the Twins and all the teams in the AL as much as they don't want to. And they're going to, and the Phillies, it's going to be hard to find anybody in the NL because If you're meandering around 500 as everybody else is, everybody has, especially we all know how that third wild card spot happens.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
you
and
go from worst to first.
I was looking for who in my head was going to be that hot team that could dethrone. I'm looking at you, Pat. Dethrone. That's why I'm enunciating here.
No.
Dethrone, one of these top teams who've been, like the Phillies, dominating.
Yeah, I'm same here. I'm looking at now, and I'm looking at there's a lot of questionable talent too. Like if you're looking right now, like Texas is 5 games out.
Hey, Brian.
Toronto, Detroit.
Good morning, Brian.
Good morning, Brian. Texas, Toronto, Detroit are all Texas is 5. Toronto, Detroit 6 games out. Houston's only 4.5 out. Boston. This is what I'm looking at. This is what's weird to me. You have 3 teams from the AL East and 3 teams from the AL Central that are right now taken up out of the 6 spots. I'm sorry.
It's
5 of 6 spots. You have basically the Yankees and Baltimore, them 2, and then you have Cleveland, Minnesota, Kansas City from the AL, and then Seattle's the lone representative out west.
Yeah.
I mean,
and then what? Yeah, they pretty much have a good lock on the West right now.
And then right now, if you're looking at the NL, Atlanta's got the top wild card spot, followed by San Diego and St. Louis.
Steve's saying, I don't believe in the Yanks after Soto and Judge. Everyone else has a 300 OBP. The rotation is overachieving. Yeah, true. I agree with that to a point, but again, we all know how baseball is, man. It's a different chick, man. I always say a different kind of woman. Like,
the regular
it's all about if it's hot at the right time, and that's what you need to see.
Just like
Phillies need to take Walker out of the rotation and put Turnbull in the spot. Well, Brian, I think you already got
you got your words there, Brian.
Yeah.
I'm looking
He
here.
has a blister.
Yeah, I'm looking at this thing here, and Al, you're right. After Atlanta, basically from San Diego, right, which is the 2nd seed, all the way down to San Francisco, who's the 10th seed in the National League. They're only separated by 3 games.
Yeah.
Like literally, it's Colorado and Miami. Colorado's got 12 games out.
It was 2.5 yesterday before the games ended. Did the Braves win yesterday?
No, they lost. They lost yesterday.
They did. That's right.
But that's why I'm sitting here looking. So you figure like Arizona's in the mix. Arizona's 4 right now. They're a game out. Pittsburgh is a game and a half out. Washington's a game and a half out of a final. Think about this. The Nationals are a game and a half out. The Mets and the Cubs are 2 games out. Cincinnati's 2.5 out. And then San Francisco's 3. So that's all these teams. That's 10 teams right there in the NL. So you're right. If you're going to do it,
first part, nobody wants to trade intraleague. Like you don't want to trade NL and NL if you can get away with it. I mean, unless
you're thinking about the future too.
Yeah, I mean that's where that would count. If you're like a bottom feeder, like those 2 teams we were talking about, well, you're a couple of years out before you can actually contend for anything, and you really just need to unload and stock up. Then you're going to do it. But that's 2 teams. That's Miami. Who are you going to want from there?
And the Sox.
And the Sox. No, not the Sox.
White Sox. I mean,
the White Sox are
I thought you said
it's Colorado and
Colorado. Thank you. I'm talking in the NL.
Oh yeah.
Real quick, I remind you guys that this episode is brought to you by Sherry'sTickets.com. That's right, Sherry'sTickets.com. Family owned and operated since 1946. Sports, concerts, theater, you name it, they got it. I don't care where in the United States are. If you're watching us from a different part of the country, go to Sherry'sTickets.com for your sports, concerts, and theater needs. Forget the other ones. You're going to get bamboozled at checkout. Great prices, no hidden fees. The price you see on the screen is the price you pay, and you'll save yourself an additional 10% off by using that great promo code
EOP10.
That's right. EOP10 will save you 10% off the already great prices at Sherry'sTickets.com. Again, that great promo code
EOP10.
EOP10 will save you 10% off, and use it for Mike's birthday. Nothing would make him happier. And one thing you don't need a ticket for is today. Today. That's right. Today, Philly Press Box Radio celebrates number 500. That's right. The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen in our group here at EOP. That's Bill and Chet. The wiser crew, as you want to call them. They are here to have their 500th episode. We were going to be at the Irish Rover Station House at 1033 South Bellevue Avenue, Langhorne, PA, today, starting at 1:30. That's right, at 1:30. These great guys you see on the screen here: Joe Watson, 2-time Stanley Cup champion; Jim Jackson, Flyers play-by-play; Lou Nolan, the in-house announcer for the Flyers. All great guys, all Flyers, legends in their own. So you have to come on out, check them out. You get to meet these guys. We'll meet and greet beforehand. 2 o'clock goes live right here on EOP, and talk with these wonderful gentlemen. And we will we'll be there. The 3 of us actually.
Yes,
will be in
PM and
attendance.
AM.
I'll be producing. These 2 will be drinking.
Yes.
Yes.
It's going to be like a jacuzzi with dudes.
All right, we're
Whoa.
done. I just got to call Lou Nolan canceled.
All right.
He found out Pat's coming. He's like, no.
So, I mean, when
real,
you look...
real quick, sorry, not to cut you off, but
He did.
Yeah.
here's a couple of comments I wanted to catch up on. Elephant in the room says, I don't think I'm biased for believing that we have the most complete team in the league. Right now, yeah, I mean, you really do. We have one of the top bullpens right now.
It's like Pat. He's waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Yeah, I mean, you got flip-flop Pat, we call him. You wearing
Flounder.
sandals today?
It's his name.
I do got flounders on.
Yeah.
Flounder. No, that's your nickname. Flounder.
Oh.
You flip-flop.
He had flounder for dinner. But you have top 3 is our top 3 are 1 and 2s and other teams easily. Plus, Christopher Sanchez, the newly extended Christopher Sanchez, is still pitching well, and now we possibly have Spencer Turnbull returning, so the Taiwan Walker experiment hopefully is done.
Oh.
And then
we just trade him.
And just a point, I was actually looking this up while you guys were talking.
What a stiff.
So right now, our top 4. Now I know Grant's a little skewed because Trey Turner was out, but he's picking up right where he left off from. Our top 4's batting average is .298. We have a batting average of .298 between Schwarber, Turner, Harper, and Bohm.
Well, that's what I was about to say. The Phillies are 5th in home run, 4th in runs, 4th in RBIs, 4th in walks, and they have the best ERA in baseball. So, yeah, they are the most complete team in baseball.
And they only trade the Dodgers by, if you look at their run differential, they're plus 111. Them and the Yankees, they're second at plus 111. The Dodgers are at plus 112.
Yeah, I think we already touched on this, Brian, but I'll mention it. So for those who don't know, as of yesterday, right after the game, Topper said he has, I can't remember the term he used, but it's pretty much a blister.
Yeah, hot spot.
Hot spot. Yeah, it's a hot spot on his
I've never
hand.
heard a blister be called a hot spot.
That's what they call it in baseball, I guess. But yeah, he that's why he wasn't pitching well. To be honest with you, he was asked the question. So if you went on EOP Sports, our boy Al Thompson was down at the game on Friday night.
Oh, nice.
And he sends us all the video of the post games. And Topper in his post game, somebody asked him and said, would there be a possibility of him, losing his spot in a rotation and bringing in Spencer Turnbull in if he continues to struggle? And Topper said bluntly, I would not be discussing that with you. That's an internal, in-house, in-clubhouse conversation. So I'm not going to even answer the question. And then the next day, blister. He's on the IL for a blister. They bring up somebody else. I think that I thought maybe he had one or two more starts for as well as they've been playing, but I guess I was even overshooting that expectation.
Yeah, I mean, listen, because you saw when this team had last week gone through a little bit of a struggle, and this guy's been struggling. You can't continue that. You got to keep riding this thing in a hot hand. I mean, his game he had on Friday. I mean, he put this team in an 0-4 hole, and he gave up 3 home runs. 1 in the second, 2 in the third. I mean, it was horrible. I mean, he's terrible he's terrible on the
buddy of mine who's a Mets fan told me when we signed him, he said, listen, dude, he goes, this guy's so up and down. He goes,
when he's good, but when he's bad, he's real bad.
That's what he said. When he's good, he can be an innings eater for your team. He goes, but when he's bad, he's bad.
I mean, when I saw him used to pitch against us, I didn't think he was great. We used to rock him all the time, and then there was a reason why he wasn't in the playoff rotation last year. There's a reason why he was sitting there eating peanuts.
I don't know if that was last year is an anomaly.
He could have Topper could have won to him at any time last year, and he decided not to. There's a reason.
Again, we don't know that reason, but it wasn't because he was pitching badly, Pat. I mean, he had 15 wins last year. Stop. Last year's Taiwan Walker had 15 wins. Okay, he was leading the team in wins last year. He led the team for much of the first half of the year. He ended up with 15 wins last year. Look it up and you'll see. He had 15 wins a year ago. So, no, I don't understand what happened in the postseason. But to sit there and, the guy wasn't a total crumb bum last year. He had 15 wins.
There's a reason why Topper didn't go to him. I'm just saying. He knows why. The dude's a stiff. And then he gets on the hill this year.
Listen, I'm not going to argue with you this year.
Yeah.
This year it's been horrible. He's been horrible. But when you signed him, you
knew what you were getting with him.
You know what you're getting. It's a roller coaster. So again, I have faith in Caleb Kaufman. Or Caleb, is that how you pronounce his name? Kaufman?
Yeah, Kaufman.
Yeah. I have
Kaufman.
faith. Yeah, Kaufman. So I have faith in him that he can maybe work with him. I'm not against him being sent down to the minors. You know what I mean? Do what they did to Brett Myers. Everybody forgets. Remember how awful Brett Myers was in the 07 season? Or was it? No, I'm sorry, the 08 season? He was horrible. The dude got sent to the minors for a month. But when he came back, he was rock solid. So maybe they may need to do that with Taijuan Walker. It happens at times, man. But I don't think he's as bad as I think Turnbull's a better pitcher right now this season. He's shown that he's been the better pitcher. Mm-hmm. But other than that, no. I mean, look, if this is the one thing we're arguing about, with them having 50 wins right now,
right?
Yeah. I mean, like season's going good.
Like you
said, fourth fastest way to 50 wins, by the way.
And you're right, Mike. This is like I said,
it's a butte there, Clark.
It is a butte. The little gray spot, the little gray area that they have is Taijuan Walker. Listen, everyone can see it. But listen, if Turnbull comes in and does his thing, you're fine. You are fine from here.
Well, I guess we answered Brad's question. Do you guys think Turnbull should be starting the rotation instead of Walker? Yes. Brad, I think that's one of the few things that you can get a bunch of Phillies fans to agree on at one point, at any point in time during the season. I mean, people were out on Walker before he even pitched a game this year, and especially because Spencer Turnbull was doing so well. I had kind of a theory that behind that they kind of wanted Walker to pitch and see if they can hold his own for a couple months at least, because they didn't want to wear out Turnbull. I mean, you want to save him for the second half. I mean, probably come October, he's not going to be used much at all. You're going to go 3-4 rotation.
Right, he's going to be a
But here's my thing: is if you can get Spencer Turnbull and he stays healthy and he continues to pitch the way he's doing, you might have another extension on your hand.
Yeah, exactly. And
you might have your rotation. I don't know if you do, because I don't know about the whole Andrew Painter. Like, what do you do with Andrew Painter at that point if you extend him a couple of years? But you might be able to extend Spencer Turnbull for another 2 years at a cheap rate while you let Andrew Painter get back into form.
Listen, I have a question. Like, to me, I feel like the only untouchable right now.
Nobody.
No, I'm going to take Crawford. Crawford's my only untouchable in the Phillies farm system. Everybody else can go.
Go pound sand.
Yeah, like the only one I'm
Thank you, Mayor Mitchie Poo.
Good morning, Mitch.
By the way, they did just drop in the last 45 minutes. They dropped the lineup card for today, so it's pretty typical. It's Schwarber, Turner, Harper, Bohm, Castellanos, Stott, Marsh, Dahl, and Stubbs will catch.
How about Dahl? Yeah, let's give David Dahl a little bit, because you know how hard it is to hit a kind of ball that he had to face yesterday. That dude was throwing it up there like I think.
Oh, it was a catcher.
He laughed at it yesterday.
Well, it was a catcher. The guy was pitching as a catcher.
Yes,
he was
I saw.
But he pitched 4 scoreless innings going into that.
Yeah.
Think about that. He pitched 4 scoreless innings.
He's an 18 ERA right now. So
they got to him, but I mean, that was
like he knew like this was your glutton for punishment at this point.
What's up, Mitchie Poo? Thank you. Hit that like button. It does scare me that Atlanta won the World Series with Adam Duvall in center field, Noah Kuna, et cetera. I don't need to see it again.
I don't listen. You know what? To be honest with you, I don't think Atlanta. I don't think Atlanta's going. I think they're going to be They're going to be one and done. You know.
Steve saying, are the Panthers really going to choke their own?
Hey,
God. Did Pat write? Steve, are you Pat's burner account? This can't be true, but the NHL really needs this. McDavid already broke 99's assist record, 6-point game away from 99's point record.
No, listen,
listen. We're about to get into.
We're about to get into that. Yeah. We'll get into that.
What are the odds Demidov slips to the Flyers pounce? I mean, that's another Mitch Cobb type situation for him.
Yeah,
top could be number 2, but could slide down later in the draft because of the whole, would take a couple of years to get up here situation. No. So that can be my concern on Turnbull is on losing him for the year. Just a massive injury history. Yeah, but listen, no offense, and I love Spencer Turnbull, but it's worth the risk. Risk is worth the reward, and I'll tell you why. If Spencer Turnbull gets you to July and maybe even August, that's all you need him for, really. Walker can come up and just not suck. That's all you ask him. Just don't suck.
Right.
All right. And then if he doesn't suck, he's a non sequitur. It doesn't matter at that point.
Let me ask you a question.
He's not in the conversation anymore because when you get to the postseason, you might see Christopher Sanchez maybe, and then it's the Wheeler Nola
It's
Ranger.
Wheeler,
Ranger.
Yeah. But let me ask you a question. Do you think Walker makes it past the trade deadline? Because I don't. I think the Phillies are going to package him.
I think honestly, part of what they were doing is trying to put him on display.
Yeah, that's what
And he might.
Yes.
It's his contract. It's not terrible, but it's not great. He might take a team who's looking to get, to bolster a trade. He's never going to be a big part of a trade.
No, but what I'm saying, he could be the player. Like he could be the player to be named later.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's just what I'm saying. Like I could see the Phillies moving him out. And by the way, too, why? I know it's getting close around the trade deadline, but for the love of God, can we please stop with the Mike Trout? Like I saw. No.
Someone's still talking about that?
Yeah, they put a mock trade on.
But they were trying. See, with people are saying with his injury, they were hoping that they could get him on the cheap.
Oh, dude, you should have seen the trade packet. It had Brandon Marsh going back there. Okay. All of our top picks. And I was like...
That would suck for my field. Be like, oh, man. Man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it was like, Marsh... They were trading Marsh back there along with all of our top prospects. Like, I mean, it was Abel, Painter, Crawford. I was like, dude, the Phillies are not giving up all of that for Mike Trout.
No, I think the Mike Trout train has come to an end. Like 2 years ago now. Like his opportunity was there, it was given.
I think if he does come here, he it would be after Schwarber's gone. And I think because then you could use Mike Trout as a DH.
Yeah. Well, to answer Elephant in the Room's question, I don't understand how Taijuan Walker lost his velocity in such a short time in an age where it doesn't usually happen that quickly. It really didn't happen quickly. Let's break it down for a second. Like they've been sweeping this under the rug for a while. Like, to be honest with you.
The Mets killed him.
Why do you think we didn't see him at all in the postseason when we had bullpen games?
Yeah, his arm was cooked.
Michael Lorenzen, we all knew was cooked, yet he got a chance to throw in the NLCS. But Taijuan Walker couldn't squeak one out. I mean, it's not over recently. Then he was injured and he couldn't get a real start in the they kept him injured into the beginning of the season. Let Turnbull go. So what did he start? Like late April, early May, something like that. And they've been letting them try to ride it out and try to figure some stuff out. And he actually, not this last outing, but the outing before, he had a decent outing. And his velocity was back up. He's so inconsistent. I don't know if he has the control nor the power to do anymore. And I think what they're really trying to do is hide him. So maybe somebody would be willing to
take him.
All right, so
take him. But listen, at this point, eat the contract. Just eat the goddamn contract. Because I'm tired of playing somebody because of the money.
Right. Well, look, we're about to talk some hockey because I see
if we're gonna do that, hold on one second.
Oh,
I gotta do this. Gotta step on your toes for a second.
Yeah, you always teach.
Yeah, PhillySportsTrips.com. That's right, PhillySportsTrips.com. You have to go and check out the great trips, guys. I keep telling you, stop waiting. We were talking about those Cubbies just a little bit ago. That trip hasn't even happened yet, and it's been sold out for weeks. I said weeks. You cannot wait. PhillySportsTrips.com. Hot friggin' commodity. You have to be out there. You got to jump on it. Go on their site constantly. I'm there all the time, and I'm just not because we work with them, because I love to see what's coming up. And this one, you may see a certain Big Al there for this Pittsburgh trip. That's right.
Nice.
Heading out to PNC Park.
He's going to be stuffing a Permane Brothers sandwich down.
I'm actually going to do a video going and just like dropping the Permane sandwich on the ground and go, that's where it belongs.
They're actually pretty good.
Nah, suck it. They suck. PhillySportsTrips.com. You got to check them out. Some great trips, guys. Local trips. Even have the Italian Heritage Night game. You can go there. It's a great little trip. I'm gonna try to get to that one. It's on a Wednesday. I know I'm busy on Wednesday. I'm going to move my schedule around, but I want to get there for that one. Also, don't forget Brazil. That's right. That's for Phil fans out there. Brazil is coming up, as well as all the away trips for the Eagles.
They got some great road trips.
Yeah, you got to check
Baltimore
it out.
one's looking mighty good.
Yeah, I mean, it would be Philly fans heading to Baltimore again. It'd be a fun time to watch, and two great teams going up against each other. So check it on out, guys. Go to PhillySportsTrips.com. And don't forget, if you get in trouble on any of these trips, call David R. Cherry at CherryInjuryLaw.com. That's right. When you need a good lawyer, you call David Cherry at 610-565-0300. Go check out CherryInjuryLaw.com for all his great accomplishments and everything he can do for you in workers' comp, motor vehicle, personal injury, and criminal law. 610-565-0300 or go to cherryinjurylaw.com.
Well, there you go, guys. Well, listen, I know you guys have been wanting us to talk about it. We're going to talk about it with you right now. Let's talk about, Mike, those Philadelphia Flyers, because this Friday will be the NHL trade deadline. Will be the NHL
Draft.
Where am I going?
God only knows.
The NHL draft.
That hamster in your head.
Yeah.
Well, thank God it's just a hamster in his head this time.
It's on two different levels. But anyway, the NHL the draft is this weekend. And listen, Mike, I listened to Danny Briere press conference, and he said himself, listen, they're going to be patient with this. They could be moving up. They can move him back. Depends what's on the board. They want to take the best player available, so forth. But to me, what do you want Danny Briere to do?
You know, I was looking at. Hey, what's up, Phil?
What's up, Phil?
So you guys like the closer for his AM shows? Is that what you are to Phil now? You guys are the closer.
We are.
We're the opener.
No. Or are you the opener? That's a good question. That's my point.
Sunday.
Is he the starting pitcher? Goes 5 strong innings. Set up for Patterson Ave and then closing with PM and the AM. Then he starts it all over again the next.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't care. Yeah. You know, Pat's used to being the horse's back.
Oh,
he's the horse's
back there.
What's
up, Steve?
This is the one that I've been wanting. Was it Ties and Iginla? Jerome McGinley's son.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's who I want the Flyers to go get. And believe it or not, I'm actually on NHL.com, and they got the Flyers getting him at 12. This is who
That's
I
we're
want
going to fall into.
And I would love to see them getting him. You know what I mean? Because for me, it has him and Carter Yamachuk.
Well,
it's either one.
When I was listening to Danny Briere's press conference, he said, "Look, it's no hidden secret. We're lacking in centers. We need to get centers here in our farm system."
Thanks, Steve.
We need to do that. We're still kind of pandering out, but this whole Carhart situation, see what what's the next steps, etc. I mean, he made some bold statements. He said, "Don't expect us to make a big splash, as far as free agency. Still with the cap and all that stuff." He said, "A little bit, next year will be a little bit better as far as the cap." So in due time, when Mitchkov will be over here and so forth, he said, "Listen, if you guys know anything more than I do, I think it's still going to be like a 2-year window before he comes over here." So, but to me, is this a step now? Do the Flyers go a little bit? Is this a little bit more advanced in your rebuilding process? Like, to me, like I said, I just want them to go pick up a goaltender. If you're going to move up, take a goaltender. See what hot commodity goaltenders out there.
But Pat, they have like 5 goaltenders in the
I know,
system.
and then the system.
So I mean, you got to let you can't just keep drafting goalies and goalies and goalies. Like you got to let these guys develop.
Right.
They got 5 in the system. 1 of the 5 are going to pan out. You know what I mean? Right now.
Sure, hope so.
You hope so, but I mean, you got to trust them. You know what I mean? We have to trust them. So what I'm saying to you is, for him, to keep going forward.
I think so, Brad. Answer that question, but keep going.
Okay.
I'll just answer it. I'm getting caught up on the baseball stuff. Sorry.
Oh.
Thank you there, Nick.
Yeah, I want to. I really think they need to start going now. Skill position, centers, wings. Like now, you got to get offensive. Yeah. They've been defensive heavy over the last 3 years. They got to start putting playmakers now around. Now, this young core that they have, you got to build that core up. You got to make it so when he does come, wow.
He heard my joke. I guess he explained it.
He said, oh, wow, that's a name from the past. But yeah, I can definitely see them doing it. And you know what? I don't want the Flyers to go out and sign these big market guys. You can go get a guy that can come in and help your team out. You can go get a guy like a Tarasenko, come in and sign him to a 1 or 2 year deal. The guy still puts the puck in the net. He was the top. He was the most sought after guy to be traded. And they,
I understand that, Mike. I want to see them pan out a goaltender. I think that was your biggest issue last year. I think you had
It
a
wasn't
team.
the biggest issue last year. The biggest issue last year was that
No,
they went into
Yeah,
the season with Carter Hart as their goalie.
that's what I'm
that's what happened. They
saying.
got the rug pulled out from underneath
Yes,
them.
Right,
yes, I'm with you.
But
Pat,
they bought guys up, and you didn't. There was no way to. You had a hope lightning struck, and they were able to step right in and be NHL style goalies,
and they
and
were.
that was difficult.
No,
I mean,
but if the Carter Hart situation never took place, I thought
Pat,
this
ifs and what did my mom used to
ifs
say?
and buts are candies and nuts every day with
my mom
Christmas.
used to call them ifs and whiffs. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? If ifs and whiffs were true, then we all be sitting on a pile of gold. It's not. It happened, but look at Fedorov, the backup.
Something like that, yeah.
Ivan is terrible.
Yeah.
The dude got off the plane, didn't even have his gear.
yes.
So I mean, and he played pretty
And
decent.
he never played because he
He
had to
never
play.
played.
The gear's different in
the KHL.
between the NHL and the KHL. It's a lot different.
So I think he did pretty well for the short time he's been here. Dude, now he's got an off season. He's going to have a preseason. This guy's going to be all right.
Well, that's what I'm
And
saying.
same thing with
Like I said, if the Carhart situation happened, but if it didn't, like I said, they were on their cusp of being a playoff team. They sat for that in that 16 for a while. They, like you said, they have a couple playmakers. They have Owen Tippett. They have Travis Konechny. They have a defense that's in front. We saw Nick Sealer is a bulletproof vest for their goaltender.
That's another thing.
And PK Subban just said in his press conference or the postgame show, he said, "You gotta play extremely, extremely well for your goalie." He's like, I had the opportunity to play for Carey Price and all those guys. He's like, if you're not there for your goaltender, then you're done.
But you also got to realize too, they traded Sean Walker too. Sean Walker was paired with Nick Sealer, which made their defense took a hit when they traded Walker. Now Walker's a free agent. I can see the Flyers re-signing him.
You have to.
I could see the Flyers re-signing, bringing him back on a couple-year deal to pair him up with Sealer. Now you got at least 3 good, solid defensive line to put in front of whatever goaltender you're going to put in there. Okay, so again, I think the Flyers should.
Brad's comment says Briere said something he was going to go to trade 2 veteran players for a 7th round pick from Ottawa Senators. Your thoughts, guys?
The deal's got to be. I don't know about the 7th round pick. Like, who's he going to trade?
Right.
I mean, Scott Lawton was on the trade block
for a while,
like the whole year, and they couldn't get a deal done. So, and
I thought he played a little better than from last year.
I think he did too. I thought Lawton had a good season.
I think
now, looking back on it and hearing now with Couturier having a core injury, that kind of puts into a lot of that puts it into effect of what we saw last year, what was going on with him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like everybody remember they all got up in arms. Oh, he's the captain of his team, and Torts is benching him. Well, maybe Torts knew that he was playing with a sports hernia and was just like
benched him to
protect him.
Yeah.
So as much as now you're looking at it. Pat, when we were talking about that, I said there's got to be something else here because you don't just sit your captain. Remember, we were going back and forth with that, and I said you don't sit your captain. Now it comes out he had a core injury. So again, I think
one of the worst injuries I have in any sport.
Yes. Brad said happy. Thank you, Brad. They definitely missed Hart. Not so much. They missed Sean Walker. Walker.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said,
you
have
a lot of grief for not adding Tarasenko.
So you said they don't,
especially since the literal defense in Game 6 in Florida.
Yeah.
So you said they didn't miss him. Yeah, they did because you put a lot of pressure after he left the ship. You put a lot of pressure on Sam Harrison, and after that, like I said,
but Pat, he answered it well.
He did okay, but they bottomed out.
He answered it well, dude. He didn't have a capable backup of giving him a night off.
Well, right, that's what I'm saying.
But
he had a lot of pressure on him. Like you said, he didn't have a backup. I mean, you have Felix Sandstrom.
I'm talking about the way he played. The way Harrison played. Harrison played damn good last year. Especially after the trade deadline. After the trade deadline, when you got rid of one of your best defensemen, okay, and then your scoring was going through droughts. That dude literally kept them afloat. How many games did Harrison start last year where they got blown out?
Well, I'm saying
there wasn't many, maybe 2.
Yeah, but
I mean, he kept them in the game. You can't hold him accountable for, them not having a serviceable backup to come up and back him up. You can't hold him accountable for that. You can only hold him accountable for the games he played. And the games he played, he kept the Flyers in it. You know what I mean?
Yes
So
and no.
I don't look at this as it's an unfortunate situation. Like Al said, the rug got swept under.
I just think he got tired at the wrong time. I mean, because of
Dude,
all, and that's what happened.
I agree with you there. That could have happened.
He got
But
because,
he got tired. But you know who else got tired too? The offense got tired. They stopped scoring.
Right, because if you remember was it right before like I said, you looked at the last part of that schedule. It was nothing but a bunch of bottom feeders. But prior to that was nothing. You had the Rangers a couple of games, Florida Panthers, Boston. You had that,
and the Flyers,
they panned out well. They did 500, but after that, like I said, I think they ran out of fuel, and he got tired. And like I said, I was sat in the press box with Bill Meltzer. He even said, they lose today against Chicago. You might as well kiss the season goodbye.
But here's the thing,
and that's what happened.
But
they
Pat,
got tired.
Now, this is what I'm saying to you. Going forward, they're not looking at Carter Hart, bro. They're looking at Harrison.
Yeah.
And,
that's a plus to them.
Yeah, they don't have to worry about Carter. Having Carter Hart now is a luxury. Okay, now they know they can go. Joe Sullivan checking in. What's up?
What's up, buddy?
He wore down a bit, but he had a great year. Like that's exactly.
But he just the comment prior. Joe made a good point. He also said that they hit, like you were just saying, he had someone he could rely on as far as being a good goaltender. That's as far as hey, listen, you play a back to back. Well, I got someone who can do that job. But now all of a sudden you didn't have that. But like you said, now you go into year 2 of the Danny Briere tandem, and he might find somebody in the rough, or like you said, maybe there's someone in the farm system that we don't know that Danny does know. They could bring somebody up here, and then like you said. As long as you have you need to build, like you said, you need to build a key core defense in front of you, and then after that, you just corner, and with dives, you need to score. There's my guy.
Oh, somebody woke up the dead. They said the Flyers and Harrison Brown scored 73-43 from March 9th to the end of the season. Come on, Mike. Harrison was terrible down the stretch. Down. Here we go.
All right, listen, last week.
Hold on. Let's play both sides of the coin. Let's play devil's advocate.
Oh, last week I was in the woodshed.
Is that what you're saying though? Like actually, I don't know. You said. I think Joe said
he wore down a bit.
And no, Steve said Erson knows what it physically takes to sustain success. Does that play into what Matty B saying that he saw? After March 9th, he was not able to. He had the opportunity to live and learn. So I think it's both sides. Like Sam Erson knows now what it's going to take to be a full-time goalie in the NHL. So,
and this is what year 2?
You're both kind of talking about the same thing. He's just, of course, not giving anybody credit. Love him to death.
Yes,
like a brother.
Yes,
like a brother. I love smacking around. You know what I mean?
If Hart is here to help they make the playoffs. Because they don't have that losing streak.
I can't say that. I really listen. I love Carter Hart. Like sorry. I loved when Carter Hart was here before we knew all the crap that went on around him. But Carter Hart wasn't he didn't have the greatest season either.
Dude, the only time
he was pretty darn good.
Dude, the only time that kid was like electric was when they were up in the bubble.
You know what, Matt? Do you know what you started with this, Matty B? I feel like I have to dock your pay.
Is he coming out today?
I don't. He has a game today, so maybe not. I don't
know. God, that poor strike zone.
Yeah.
Matty's the only guy I know that would throw a midget out. Ball could hit the dirt and he'd be like strike 3.
Yeah. Well, the ump said it was the ump, so no. But it's not an excuse for him. I'm asking is the fact that he has never physically had to be the guy who took the full weight of a season on his shoulders.
Well,
and let's be honest, Erson got exposed. We all pointed this out. He got exposed. There are certain angles on that ice he just couldn't see if his life depended on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, me and Matty B, I remember we did one of the post games together. I said you could overlay. There was they got scored on 5 or 6 times. It was they got bludgeoned. But if you overlaid the goals, if you overlaid the goals, it was the same spot on maybe different sides of the ice, but almost the same spot every time.
But last year, what thing was year 1 of him? I mean, everyone treats him like he was like a 5-6 year veteran. Like this is year 1. Like usually, look at the.
Well, be careful. You might get taken to the woodshed next.
It's all right.
He's going to bring out the yardstick.
But I mean,
you're going to see a flip flop. He's going to change his profile picture to a flip flop,
right?
But you see, most of these NHL goalies, as they get older in age, they become better. You know what I mean? Like the Patrick Walls,
like a fine wine. Pat.
Yeah, I mean, I'm serious. I mean, like I said, this is year
Me and
one.
Steve agree right here. Hart was good in 2020. When they were in the bubble, he was awesome. But ever since they left the bubble,
Nah, I disagree because he only had one good series in the bubble, and if that, he got rocked. But you remember by Nick Suzuki of Montreal.
Now, again, this isn't the excuse emporium, but Steve says there were certain times he would have some games that were really bad.
Yeah.
Was that because of what was lingering in the back of his head too? I mean, not
No,
that it doesn't make a difference because Carter Hart's gone.
Right.
I mean, the Carter Hart conversation is donezo.
Yeah,
And,
where do you
like I
think they
said,
trade him?
well, I don't know what he's trying to play over in Russia or something, wasn't he? Wasn't he trying to get his visa to allow him to go over and play while he was in the midst? Because they said it's going to be like 2 years before they can even take this to court or whatever was going on. But my point is no, I think Carter Hart was a really good goalie and had possibilities of being a top goalie, maybe not the tops goalie, but he did have a lot of clunkers. And in 2020, he was spot on, like Steve said, but he had some stretches where he was cold.
So, Al, I want to go back to the original question, though. What do you think the Flyers do come Friday? What do you think they're going to do? What do you think Danny Briere
Scores.
No, but is he going to move up, or is he going to sit? Move back, or do you think he's going to? Because now they got 2 picks this year, and they got 2 picks next year.
That's the only reason, unless there's somebody they really want.
Then again, there's like 5 teams that got like 2 picks.
I know the
this year.
Carter Yakimachuk, or however you say his name is Yamichuk. Is it Yakimachuk or Yakim? How do you say?
I can't even say my own name.
I'm helping him.
I can't even say my own name.
I'm
right.
actually going to be spending the rest of the afternoon going through all these prospects and just listening to their names.
Yeah,
like I'm going to be writing out the phonetic spelling of the names.
Him and McGinley.
I can't even spell Pat Bernard.
Yeah,
I know.
Is it Taj McGinley or Tij McGinley?
Taj, I think.
Is it Taj
McGinley?
But like they're going to look for centers, and they're going to look. Are they going to stay pat? I think so. I think when you have 2 first-round picks, unless there's somebody they really want, they want to jump up, and they can maybe package something else, maybe a player they don't want anymore or something, and move up or something along those lines. But I don't see that happening, because if they're not going to go out and get a big time name or a veteran or something and put it in there now, then why are you gonna give up any real assets to move up when you could pick? I mean,
you can pick 2 good players.
We talked about it. We were just what the hell? Demidov, Ivan Demidov. With Dibes asked earlier, do you think he falls to the Flyers? I mean, it's almost the same thing as the Mitchkov situation. The guy was definitely the second best player in the draft, and because of all the knowing that's going to be a couple of years before he can come up here, at least 3 years, that teams were not willing to take a flyer on him. Huh? No, pun intended. But but the Flyers, because knowing how much of a rebuild they're in, were probably willing to do that. So I don't know. Are the Flyers in the same situation?
Well, like I said, I know they owe the Flyers pick. They're going to have 2 picks this year, but so does
I love Steven. He's already taking his pat shots.
Yes.
Pat pronouncing names would be a great blooper reel.
Steve, let's be honest, it's going to be Bill Smith, and he will figure a way of screwing it up.
Yes, I would. So, but I mean, like I said, they got 2 picks this year. They owe the Florida pick. They got 2 picks next year. It's going to be interesting to see what Danny does. I mean, year 2. I mean, Mike, what do you think he does?
He said there's an outlier here. The Flyers' 2nd round pick, 36 overall, is a conditional pick owned by Columbus. As of now, Columbus has not informed the Flyers if they are using it or not.
Oh, good point. Thank you, Matty B.
So, like I said, I hope they go after.
Speaking of, I'll be talking to you later, Matty B.
We
have planning for next Friday.
Yes. So definitely, I would like to see him take McGinley's kid, Taj McGinley. That's what I would like to see him take.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I want to see.
Taj.
Like he said, they're going.
I got to work on that.
So he even said, like, they're going to just handle pretty much whatever's in front of them. If they feel like they're going to go up and go get a player that they feel like is best fit, best on the board, they're going to go up and grab. I mean, to me, like I said, if you're going to get yourself another goal scorer, I like to see that too. But like Danny said himself, he said if they're not a top 5 goal scorer, I mean, top 5 draft pick, it's pretty much everyone's just a farm system at that point.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's going to be interesting what the Flyers do. I mean, this is going year 2. Danny Briere is going to see how the process is turning around. Let's see if he moves forward a little bit.
But I think listen, I think Yamichuk, I'm going to say Yakimachuk is a good point. He's a defenseman, but he can score. And he's kind of like
no, you're going to need that.
What we saw from Oliver Bonk, a guy. He's defenseman, but he's got a rocket. Like he could come off the. it can come off the stick like a laser. So
All right,
And
I got a quick while we're doing this because I know we're getting close to time here.
time.
Stanley Cup, Game 7.
hold on. I want to. So, like, one thing though, which Cole said. No, I mean, he said because there's like a lot of, Danny Briere said there was like here, like there's so much more opportunity though for the, these new guys to step up and play. So the Flyers are going to have that. He's like, because the teams that are chasing cups, you're not going to have much opportunity to play. So the Flyers are going to have an open window here. So I'm curious to see how that pans out. But to your question, yes, Game 7. I told you I'm staying. You picked Florida. I am back on the Oilers train. I flip flopped over there.
See?
McDavid.
So let me guess. You saw Mommy Milkers too, and all of a sudden,
I got my own Mommy Milkers. Okay, I don't need to look at anyone
no,
else.
the Oilers 3-0 since Mommy Milkers flashed the crowd.
I mean, listen, this
Would you say they rose to the occasion?
Yes, they did.
Okay.
they're a different team. Yeah,
I'll tell you
Edmonton
what.
Oilers are just a different beast right now.
But here's the thing, though, Pat. I agree with you. If Game 7 was going back there, if it was going to Edmonton, I would strongly lean towards Edmonton winning. The fact that Edmonton's got to go back now across country to play in Florida, yeah, I do. Like
I don't think so.
well, this is where we differ.
We always differ.
No, not differ. But yeah, I think that.
Why was Pat playing with his belly button when he said it that way?
I have no idea.
Really weird.
It was a little lower than the belly button.
You can't see.
It's just never mind. Oh boy, this went to hell quick.
Yes.
Proctor.
Yes, exactly. But
How about the union?
CTH. Come on.
No, I
Stink.
I like Florida. I think Florida will win it at home. I think it goes to OT though.
Ooh.
So
Sorry,
I think
when boobies are involved, I'm voting Edmonton now.
listen, you already know.
Is it been like? I heard the other day.
1990 was the last time they won.
But it was 93 since a Canadian team won the cup.
Yeah, 93.
And I think since what?
That's crazy.
Well, you figure
since the run?
Colorado they were the Nordiques. They won in 96, but they moved to Colorado. Their first year in Colorado. You want to talk about an ultimate kick in the Nads? I mean, they were in
the Nads. Yeah.
They were in Quebec all those years. The first year they move out, they win the cup. Like, I mean, God, if you were a Nordiques fan, you're probably going, yeah, that's typical.
Yeah, who do you have?
Dude,
I'm going Oilers.
You're on Oilers?
Yeah.
You think McDavid and Draisaitl will get it?
Boobies do it for me. No, but in all honesty, listen. I guess because he's far enough away and he's not like, until he hinders the Flyers. I respect McDavid. He's a good young player. He's going to be, the next big thing as guys like Crosby and them kind of go to the wayside or not, retire because he's getting there. I mean, I can see Crosby playing until he's 70 if he wanted to.
Yeah, well, he's not Sid the Kid anymore.
Yeah.
He's like Sid.
Sid has 3 kids.
Yeah, Sid the middle-aged man.
But yeah, no, I mean, he's gonna be a star in this league, and I've kind of in my old age have started respecting the star power of people. So,
all right, so you still were pulling for the Oilers.
I mean, listen,
I'm sticking with the Panthers.
The last time a team came back in the Stanley Cup from being down 3 was the Maple Leafs back in 1941 and 42 season. So again, that's a long time. So again, to me,
in the Stanley Cup Finals.
Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah.
So I mean, to me, this Edmonton Oilers story is remarkable because, like I said, I thought it was all goaltending from here on out.
I think that's the reason I want them to win. That's that underdog story.
Yeah,
just being like, because I remember sitting there just saying a week or so ago, just like, man,
this is over.
I mean, no, it's not even just saying this is over. I'm like, man, you get the Cup Finals and the NBA Finals again, and it's just a slaughtering.
Yeah,
and it's just no fun. Like, even though I hate the Celtics, I didn't want to see the Celtics win. I would have preferred to see a more competitive finals. Same thing here. Like, it's like, oh man, they're getting beat up by Florida, and I'm like, and it's like, I'm sorry, but Florida winning the cup, like Florida Panthers winning the hockey championship, like this doesn't seem right to me. Is that weird?
Because it's a South Beach team.
Yeah,
because of location.
Listen, they're the best.
Tampa had all that success, and it's just like,
Florida.
tired of Florida getting. Oh God! If I was really,
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but the Panthers are the best team.
Well, look, guys, this is where I differ with you because I thought with you for sure, last week we were talking about this. At Game 5, they'll have it wrapped up. But no, there's something that's changed with this Edmonton Oilers team. I mean, the way that they're forcing turnovers, that the way that they're scoring, that the way that their defense has stepped up. Chris Knobloch has this Edmonton Oilers team just playing all around good hockey right now, and they're on a different planet.
Can I just mention something? You said Knobloch so well right there, but you couldn't get Tommy Hunter's name right. When you were talking about the pitcher from yesterday.
No,
I think you called him Tony.
Did I?
Yeah, we'll check the. We'll go back on the rail.
But
like Tommy Hunter, he gets tripped up on that one, but Knobloch, yeah, we got that one down pat.
Well, all right. So,
but I mean, to my point though is they're just an all-around different team right now, and
right now
the Connor McDavid story is just.
I'm
like I
saying
said, we're on it.
The Oilers. I said Ohio. I'm sorry. The Oilers right now they have the momentum. They have the momentum going in.
Yeah.
But like I said, that travel going back, they're going from Edmonton down to Miami. That's real, dude.
The pressure.
That's real.
Yeah, it's real.
Yeah, but
the pressure is on Florida.
Yeah, now
not just to win the cup, but to win the cup and not be like historically throttled.
I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
Sweet pair of
could you imagine though you being?
By the way, if Edmonton does win the cup, that chick's got to ride in the parade. She's got to be top.
I guarantee you, even if they don't win, they'll let her ride in their parade. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, but they need to.
Nobody's kicking her out of the front seat, if you know what I mean.
No, that's one good-looking girl.
Yeah, I mean,
but I mean,
could you imagine if they have a Florida girl down there, just like
something's happening.
Some retiree 75-year-old woman just shagging down.
They should do that. They should do that. They'd be like, well, they have Oilers girl, I'm Panthers girl. Yeah. That'd be great.
I mean,
literally, she was older than Panthers.
Well, Mike, I mean, how would you feel though if you're the Panthers? It comes all the way back to you, like Al just said. The pressure is on you, and you choke. I mean, you had this team on the road.
High five, Frozen Island.
We got 80 sitcom people. We got Rose Island.
Oh,
high five, Pat.
We have Mr. Furley from Three's Company also chimes in on the shows now.
Nice.
I don't even know who they are. They could be burner accounts for somebody, but Rose Island and Mr. Furley, I say Furley, from Three's Company for you young bucks out there.
Oh, that's great.
High five.
Will McDavid pass Gretzky? There's a lot.
No,
we can't talk about that for a few years.
No, I mean, like I said, this is an incredible story, though. I mean, again, being down 0-3, again, people kind of questioning your superstardom, and then you're coming back and making this a run.
Listen, it's made the Cup final really, really like.
I mean, you went from
as you say, Pat, it's must see TV.
You went from watching, like I said, a boring ass Cup final, which looked like it was just going to be a bludgeoning.
Yeah,
and now,
they made it
now it's a Game 7. You have a nice pair of boobies in it. I mean. If you're not a hockey fan, everybody's a movie fan. Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
He is 6 points away from breaking Gretzky's postseason record of 47. He already broke his assist record.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's not going to have a 6-point game in Game 7.
Yeah, like.
So, well, he could. I mean, they put up 8 against him. But, Pat, like I said, I'm seeing it. I'm actually going the opposite way. Steve says, here's your union update. They are laughable bad right now. This has been your union update.
Terrible, Steve. Terrible. They blow at home.
You stop yelling in the microphone.
Sorry.
My ears are hurting.
I'm sorry, but they make me frustrated. Ugh. Get me mad. They stink at home. It's cursed. It's the House of Horrors down there at Subaru Park.
He just threw his crayon off his construction paper.
Terrible. I guess we're not going to do the food of the day.
I know what I'm eating. Whatever's on the menu over the Irish River Station House. That's right, 1033 South Bellevue Avenue, Langhorne. We were actually packing up now.
Yes,
we're going on a caravan. I know Sal G's coming with us too.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Where's he riding at? The shotgun?
I'm gonna bring my shotgun. Joe Watson, Jim Jackson, Lou Nolan, all Flyers greats there. Come on out, guys. 500 episode for the great Jim Chechesko and Bill Furman. We'll be there live on location. So pretty much right after the Flyers game ends, the Phillies game ends, because the Phillies are on 11:30. And about an hour
what's up with that
start
time?
Roku. It's a Roku game. So the Apple game.
Somebody said that to me during the week. They're like, oh yeah, they're like.
Fry's game's Apple TV.
Yeah, one was Apple TV, and then they're like, oh yeah,
they got Cole Hamels game was on Apple TV.
Yeah, and we got 11 o'clock game. Oh well, hey, that's good. Well, for House of Fury,
Yep, that's me.
Patrick Bernard.
I guess that's me.
I'm Mike Lauro. See you guys next week.
What his underwear says.
All right.